Typically, shortly after we released last week's video, Simon did drop his video that he said he was going to put out, and it was a massive bombshell. So we are going to cover that today, as well as the stuff in the Tuesday video. We're not going to worry too much about the podcast. The last few haven't given me anything to sort of give a take on or provide feedback on or anything like that, so we're not worrying about that. Just going to jump into Simon's video on his own channel and the Tuesday Fateless. So without further ado, let's get into it. Hello everyone, Ryujin here, back with another Godforge video, and a rather exciting one today. We're going to be looking at two videos which cover, I think, basically at this point, every character that's going to be in the Godforge launch. At least that's the way it appears to be, looking at other videos and things like that. So we're going to skim through all of that, talk about a few highlights, and go from there. So let's start with Simon's video that naturally he put out about 20 minutes after I finished editing mine. Just going to start from the beginning and then we'll jump through hoops as we go. One thing I did think was a massive shame, considering Simon's community was the one that wanted him to make this game. The initial backlash I thought was pretty disgusting. But how sweet do these look, right? So many cool things here. And then the graphics at the end there. See, a lot of this I thought was incredible stuff. So right now we're seeing the abilities of heroes that we've not seen before. So, you know, this to me seems like Ho Yi right here. Okay, we go back a couple of frames. You know, it's an archer firing arrows into the sun. Now Ho Yi, he shot out 9 suns out of the sky to protect China, that kind of thing. So that's what's making me believe that this is who that is right here. But again, we've not seen anything about him before. Then we get so Athena right here with her shield performing some sort of attack that, you know, I don't know what ability this is. It looks pretty much like a core to me. But again, another very cool ability. And then in between all that was Aya, I think it was. Yeah, that's definitely Aya of the Eka faction. Having some sort of sword. You got Sigurd, Athena, as mentioned, shooting, and then Mulan as well. Not seen anything about Mulan, but it was such a cool intro. So very cleverly done. Kronos. Loved everything about this video. It really highlighted a lot of the good things about Godforge, as well as these bosses coming in here again, some of them that we've not seen before. So yeah, it was very cool to watch. But yeah, I don't want to dwell on it too much, but yeah, initially the amount of crap that I saw in the comments on this video was uncalled for, unjust, at least I feel. Saying that it's just a raid clone and all that kind of stuff. And people forget that raid wasn't even the first to do it. Right, Summoners War's been out for, what, 10 years now, maybe more, and Raid copied so much from that. So, I mean, there's only so much that you're going to get different in the genre. It is the genre. You don't want to break it. But yeah, I think it was uncalled for. So here is, obviously, the video. Now, we're going to jump through a few things here, but some of the graphics and such, like, have just leveled up massively. Like, these roster screens have changed completely. So this is obviously Athena in the Olympian roster screen, far different from the alpha and what we know. And just how good does she look? Like, that shield is just so on point. Very bulky, but, you know, she's a god. She can handle it, I'm sure. Just, yeah, phenomenal. I think we get a close-up, yeah. Really good work here. I mean, some people saying, oh, Raid has way better characters. I don't know if they do. I don't know if Raid is better. Now, I'm not saying Godforge is better, but I think the quality is just as good. And it's only going to get better as the game gets older. Like, yeah, that shield. Wukong, we've seen him before, and I liked the back and forth going on here. Again, the Tian environment involving all looks sweet. And you can call me a shill, but if I'm a shill for appreciating good content and design, then so be it. Horus has had a bit of a level up now. He's got like a, I love like the effect of like the wind going across it all. It just looks sick. And then Simon, I believe, then goes in realm order. They're calling Pantheon's factions realms now. We see a lot of new portraits, things that we've not seen for a while. Bastet's had a change in portrait. Quite a lot sort of going on here. And again, first time look at quite a few characters as well, such as Thor here. It's the first time we've seen him in game. I agree with a comment one person made that Mjolnir maybe is a little bit larger than it needs to be, but you know, I don't think Thor's compensating for something. Such a cool idle animation though, just sort of like, oh, I'm so tired of being a superhero, whatever. Bang, there we are. Fenrir, our first look at Fenrir, an eternal Slayer hero. Of course, he's a Slayer. And then he also clicks on Grendel, I think. Another cool looking unit with his arms sort of, and the bodies of people that have tried to capture him in the satchel. Looking awesome. We do get to see quite a few cool Avalon heroes. Now, the Fish King was shown to us in a short not too long ago. They were talking about the lighting improvements. So he's cool to see with his Holy Grail holding it aloft. But something else that I thought was pretty cool is Vivianne. Now, I speculated that perhaps this is Serena Bell. And now we've actually got a proper look at her. This is 100% her, based on her, which is really cool. And leading on from that point, Dan Phixion, the Fateless founder, been packing everyone's coins from the alpha. He's doing it on his own, bless him. So he's working hard on that, but he did drop a little bit of a leak that, you know, potentially when Fateless gets to 100k subs, something maybe related to this lady, or who I believe this character is based off of, Serena, might drop. So tell your nan, tell your friends, call your local farmer, get everyone to sub to the Fateless channel. They're only like 1,000 away. And I personally would really like to see, or maybe hear even, that leak when they get to 100k. So let's work on that. But yes, 100%. And the choker, the cross, you know, even facially, this very much looks like Serena in my opinion. So I'm happy to die on that hill that is her. And the Morrigan. Now we know she's going to feature quite heavily in the game. We know that from the Podforge episode that I did with Adam and Aaron a while back now. So we know she's going to feature quite heavily, looking sweet. She might be my favourite character. Certainly one that I'm looking forward to getting and playing around with. And then we also see this guy who initially I thought was like a Asgard hero just from the portrait. We now know it's obviously Arawn, and he was the ruler of the underworld Anwin, if I'm not mistaken, which is a dungeon in the game, and that was sort of like the Welsh underworld. So we didn't get to look at King Arthur and a couple of others, but in the interest of keeping this video short, not going to go through all of it, but certainly go check it out. There was so much shown in relation to the heroes in this video. Actually, hold that thought. We also got to see this dude, who we didn't know who it was, Pazuzu Wind Tyrant. Oh my god, like this, he's clearly a demon, right? This demon-looking character is so cool. Look at that weapon. how can you not like that? Like the snake going up the inlay there. Honestly, smashed it out of the park with this design. The wings, I guess, are just the same as like Freya's wings and a few others, but just like reskinned, but still doesn't take any away from how good that it looks. But he's such a creepy dude. Moving on away from the heroes towards the weapon system, we see a few resources at the top here. Now, we know from the alpha we had God Steel, and you needed duplicate weapons to sort of level those up. So this could be just a new symbol for God Steel, could be something completely different. But the fact we've got 3 different ones, maybe these are for re-rolling substats, that kind of thing. Also, they've definitely, I don't know if it's just me, but some of these feel like they've leveled up a little bit. Like the Mjolnir hammer looks different to the alpha. I don't know if it's just me, but that certainly looks different. Same with the Thunderbolt, that looks different. It certainly looks a lot better, a lot cleaner in my mind. But we also see some new weapons. That's Athena's shield, and that's the sword of that Pazuzu dude that we've just seen. He does click on this one here, but unfortunately they've hidden the descriptions, which is fair enough. But yeah, this part hasn't changed per se. This resource looks to be the new God Steel, or maybe something different and has replaced it. But outside of that, the weapon system seems or appears to be the same as we know it. Same with the extraction side of things, all right, that seems to be exactly the same. Nothing new there. So that's cool. So nothing new to learn too much with this system. Those of us who played the alpha, we are used to it. Simon goes to show us some combat with some of the new heroes in the mix. Some really new ones here. Najar, this guy we saw in the earlier in the video as well. Definitely some cool stuff here, but something that was really awesome to see happened during the combat. So we'll wait for Simon to have a go. Perrin with his lightning strikes everywhere. A rift has opened. Now, this is something I don't know if it's been talked about or not, but it appears that there's like a, I don't know if this is guaranteed or a chance encounter, that a rift has opened and you get the chance to fight this person right here. Now, in this instance, it is Achilles. It says rift is open, rare Achilles. Now, Achilles is actually an epic hero. You might have different rankings of these things, or this is just a typo for the time being. But cool to see, definitely something that I'm looking forward to exploring in more detail a little bit more, and finding out exactly what these rifts are. Is this potentially the same as the reliquaries, but maybe they've been renamed? Don't really know yet, but I definitely enjoyed looking at it and seeing it. Now, the other thing is he is in a dungeon fight here, as we can see from the desecrated daimyo appearing. So what we don't know is whether these rifts open at any point, whether they just open in dungeon fights. Who knows? But one thing that has changed is previously when Simon showcased a dungeon fight, you just went straight into the boss fight, like this bit here. Whereas now he's had to fight a couple of waves beforehand. So I imagine the wave thing is actually a thing now. It's not just going to be straight into the dungeon fights. It's going to be clear a couple of waves before you get to the dungeon boss. From here, then, Simon goes to show a couple of other of the game modes, such as the campaign. We get to see a cool little cutscene as well here with the Morrigan appearing, so that's kind of cool. Bit of storyline. He starts talking about sort of that kind of thing. He mentions that once you've done the campaign, like that isn't the end of it. Future expansions are going to improve on that story and continue it rather than just a one and done, completely forget about it. So that's what the chapter 2 is. There's also a normal and hard mode, as he's just sort of showcased with the change in the color of the background there. Obviously, it talks about the dungeons, lots of different types of dungeons going on. We've got the Tower of Strife with 2 modes, which we spoke about in a previous video. So yeah, lots of stuff coming together now. It's really starting to shape up. He also talks about the arena and sort of the rewards and all of that kind of stuff. This is obviously the cool sort of arena we'll be fighting in. And then we come to the Pantheon Hall, and he starts talking about the rewards. Now, again, I've already covered this, I think, in a previous video, but also in the article that we do for the HH Gaming website. So do go check that out if I haven't and I'm wrong there. But I'm pretty sure I did it in my last video. Yeah, boss fight here, Kronos in all of his glory. Still looking awesome. Talks about the Discord chat, talks about the filtering system, talks about the archetypes and attunements, showing off Camazots and some new gear sets that we hadn't necessarily seen before, or at least the icons. And that kind of sums up the video that Simon put on his own channel. So now let's flip over quickly to the most recent Tuesday one. This is a new boss that we've not really seen much. We know that he is in the Ascension dungeon, I think, looking at who the boss is and the image. But yeah, let's go take a look at Tuesdays. Not too much to speak about in the Tuesday video. It's a bit of a fun one from Simon, talking about his top 30 favourite looking characters in the game. He tried to do top 10, but there were just too many that he enjoyed, so he's gone to 30, which is a very large number. Now, again, for those of you eagle-eyed, I think he does go through all 224 heroes with the portraits, except for a few which don't have them yet. So community resources and things are being built up as we speak, so do go check them out if there's anything you're missing. Just going to point out a couple of cool ones that we've not seen before. Starting with Polyphemus. So we know that there is a Cyclops in the game, because we've seen the name Cyclops. But I didn't know there was going to be a named Cyclops, and we have it in Polyphemus. So he is going to be the giant rig, I think Simon said. So he's going to be larger than a few, similar to like Asag, for example, for size reference for those who played Alpha. A really cool, unique character. We saw a terracotta warrior earlier in this vid, which you can obviously go back and watch. Which, even for an uncommon, looks really cool, and the history behind the terracotta army and the chamber that's lined with mercury, that kind of stuff, is still really cool. Sun Tzu, the guy who wrote The Art of War, is in here as well. I love that they're not just going for gods, for example. Like, again, we had an interesting topic about this in the Fateless Discord on, what is a myth, what is a legend, what is a fairy tale, the lines between, not having something because it's actively worshipped by many, but having something that's actively worshipped by a few, really interesting topic of conversation, and everyone was an adult and didn't get offended, which is also really nice to see. But I love that he's in the game, the legendary strategist. He is an invoker, so yeah, cool to see the likes of him in as well. I really love that. It was the first time that we had seen a character called Nenaya, as well as Ryujin. Ryujin being one of the serpents, or eastern sort of serpent dragons. He's a god of the sea, or one of the rivers, and you can sort of tell that with the sort of call out here. It looks like seaweed or coral that he's got on his head here. So yeah, definitely a cool one right here, and an epic as well. So, and I like that they're not all legendary, so we can get a chance to play with some of these cooler models right here. Lamashtu is another wicked one. Baba Yaga, not fully rigged because she's going to go into the cauldron, so she's going to be one of the last ones done. And then we get Oda Nobunaga, and Veles, I think, is the last one looking at it as we've been skipping through. The Hades of Slavic mythology. I'm disappointed he didn't show Tlaloc in his top 30, though. Like, I think he looks so good when we saw him the other day. He had like a watery kind of hair and that kind of stuff. Looked awesome. But yeah, that was it for sort of this week. It was more just, I guess, a roster showcase. The sort of the final roster we're going to be getting for MVP. They have reached content lock now, so there's no more going in. This is what we've got to work with. And I cannot wait to theory craft and give you all the stuff that you need on the #1 site for you guys. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Take care, look after yourselves, work hard, as always, play hard. And I will see you in another one soon. Cheers.